Alright, hello everybody, welcome back. I've got a kind of an interesting one here for you. It's Elementalist Beast combo, but not so much focused on the combo part of it. The main goal here is to abuse Hamlet. Hamlet being a ordinary minion costs one less to cast here. There's no restriction on it, there's no once per turn. So the best card in this list, I feel like, is Assorted Animals. You can Assorted Animals for max, like 5 or 6 or whatever it is, and go get 6 different 1 mana 2/2 beasts or lethal or what have you, and drop them all on Hamlet. So it's 5 mana, 6 mana for 6 power plus. You can do it for 4, get all the 2 power beasts, and 4 mana will get you 8 power on board. Seems pretty good. This list is also playing Sylvan Splendor and Ring of Morgan and Lady Iseult. So with a Hamlet, Lady Iseult, Ring of Morgan, and 2 1-power ordinary beasts, you can go infinite and draw your entire deck. And then hopefully you can win with like a snowball or something. So it is possible for this list to do that. Highly unlikely though. The other stuff this list is playing is like Sly Fox is the best minion in this list because it's just repeatable damage and they can't really do anything about it. It does die to deserts, but it's okay. There has to be some counterplay to stuff. So, but Sly Fox is great. The stealth feels very much like Phase Assassin and where you can just repeatedly hit. It's 1 mana, deal 1 damage minimum, but over the course of the game, it's like 5 or 6. Also playing trinkets to buff some powers and help some trades. Playing against CJ here. CJ is testing out a Knights list, and in the second game, he's testing out a tap style list, so playing like Entangle Terrain, but then all your minions have some tap effect. So you can still keep doing stuff while Entangled Terrain is out. Here's Hamlet. Hamlet's a very busted site, in my opinion. It really should be once per turn, but here we are. My favorite thing I've done with this list so far is Assorted Animals while having the Ring of Morgan. And beforehand, I had like grapple shotted or gotten up close to my opponent's avatar. So I Assorted Animals with Ring of Morgan out, Assorted Animals for 5 or 6 or whatever it was, and then got a bunch of 1 mana beasts, dropped them all in Hamlet, and shot my opponent for 5 and gained 5. It just was very... and that's only a 2-card combo, so if you find Ring, go for it. So I know this kind of list where Elementalist Beast, like infinite draw kind of thing, was a thing. It was known about it quickly after AL. But it didn't really go anywhere because the combo was deemed very unlikely because you need 5 cards and 2 or 3 of them being uniques. It's probably not going to happen. But I think there's something here because I was playing... The reason I'm playing this list is I was playing in my locals 2 weeks ago, and a guy there put this together, and every single game seemed like he had a turn where he dropped a bunch of minions on the board. And it was like, that kind of consistency is very interesting, where every game you get to do the thing. If you get to do it once, twice, cool, and that's awesome. But it didn't really have a way to finish the game. It just dropped a bunch of creatures. So I'm trying to work on it and have some fun with it. You can also see I'm playing Ruler Thule here, so another avenue here is like play to your back row, play a little defensive, a bunch of lethal minions, and then Ruler Thule come around and attack for a bunch. And Pond, oh, I gotta talk about Pond. Pond is one of the best sites in AO, I think. It enables so many turn 2 plays. It's really, really strong. So turn 2 Pond into a Lugbog Cat or also an Autumn Unicorn is really good. And the other thing that this enables is it's on a water site, which is huge. So they can't just bury the thing on their turn 3. Here in this little exchange, I attack with Rule or Thule to get him to block with his Crown Prince. I know it bounces the hand, but I was really worried about the Sir Mordred. So I still had a lethal minion even after Sir Mordred. And then Wild Boars up forward just to be a little more aggressive. And so now you can see I'm at 20, he's at 9, and I have 4 minions on board. I know there are only one once, but there's still 4 minions on board. What game do you play in Sorcery where you get to have 4 minions on board? The most fun I'm having in this game is playing minions to the board and playing this weird chess game with my opponents and my minions and positionally trying to figure out a way to win. And so I feel like there's something to this deck. There is some way to not break it, but like make it viable in a more competitive environment. So if anybody has any suggestions, I'll leave the deck list in the description. Feel free to leave a comment or a suggestion about what I could try. I'm more than open to it. Here in this turn, it's a little tricky. I attack with my Wild Boar just to get him to trade into it for free, not for free, but to fuel my Wolpeltinger here. I needed one more beast in my yard to make it a little bit bigger than the Sir Balin, and so it just doesn't automatically die because of First Strike. And play it off to the side, hoping to try to get him to door next turn. I have two unblockable minions, so he's essentially at 4. Grandmaster refill his hand, have some blockers, and this is kind of where I think the Knight's deck falls. I got really lucky with a Smokestacks to turn off his tournament grounds, so he has really bad threshold issues. But if you don't find tournament grounds, it gets a little awkward. He is playing a bunch of the dual sites, so it kind of gets worked out. The Crown Prince attacks because it has no reason to stay up. And now I'm trying to, like, when I get him to door, where do I want, or how am I going to do the death blow? And so the Sly Foxes are really great at doing that just because of the stealth. Now I need to figure out a way to get rid of the Grandmaster Wizard and the blocks. So I attack the back castle and try to figure out an orientation here to get him to block. We have a little discussion of like orderings of attacks. So he blocks with Sir Balin just because he doesn't want to block the Wolpeltinger and die. So, but then I have now 6 beasts in yard. Now I can attack the Grandmaster Wizard and get him to door that way. And now I have 2 weird dead cards in hand, but the game doesn't matter at this. It doesn't matter at this point. I play Horn of Colin to the Sly Fox. Another cool thing this deck can do with the Horn out. So it takes a turn to set up, but you have Horn in the nearby hamlet, and then you can assorted animals for the 2-power beasts, the 1 mana 2-power beasts, and attack for 8, and kind of have a surprise turn. So this deck does have those like crucial turns where you can kind of like get your opponent off guard, but the consistency or power level seems to be lacking. I'm not sure, but any suggestions, I'm more than happy to listen. Here, CJ knows he has no way to deal with the Sly Foxes, but double Warhorse to attack with Sir Balin is kind of fun. Destroy a land, do a thing. Thanks to CJ for being a good sport. And here's Snowball. Snowball is also a really good finisher and or like big combo turn. So in Happy Magic Christmas Land, if you do get the infinite draw combo, you can get all of your 1-power beasts and then Snowball and kill them in 1 turn. But, you know. And speaking of more combo pieces, you have Lady Iseult in here, which Lady Iseult is such an easy include in this kind of list where all your stuff is very small and fragile. So you can like attack into your opponent's minions really effectively and not really care because you gain a card almost by taking a card away from them and it just bouncing to hand. Here in my mulligan, I'm looking for Hamlet. Don't see it, but oh well. Pond is great. 2 Sly Foxes is more than I could ask for, just because it just pings every single. It's so frustrating to deal with unless you have like lightning bolt or some area of effect removal instead of like targeted removal or minions. So CJ plays Hunter's Lodge. Doesn't really like that one. Might like it. It's not a Watchtower. It's a Genesis effect. It only happens once of removing stealth. In this say, I play a Tentagel. I've just been calling the Tri-Sites castles just because it's easy to remember and they're just a castle. Play a Pufferfish just as defense. I get Imperial Road to kind of ramp. Imperial Road, I think, is a thing I might leave behind after this because all my minions are very small. So getting to 4 or 5 mana is okay, but like getting past that, it's whatever. So this is Vanguard Knights, so it's a 4-power beast or minion right now for him. Get Sylvan Splendor, so that'll be useful in the future. So here I get Imperial Road, and CJ plays a Rift Valley, which is a little annoying, but what have you. Having an opponent's site right in your front of your face is a little rough, but Imperial Road gets me to 4, and then Pawn has a discount of 1, so it's really nice playing Sylvan Splendor on curve when you have 4 mana, but the issue is you have no way to defend it usually. But with the Pond and Hamlet sites, you can play Sylvan Splendor on 4 and still play a minion that will block, which is just feels much better than playing Sylvan Splendor normally. So I think if you're playing Splendor, you need to play Pond and Hamlet to have these like free little chump blockers. So take care of the 4-power beast or 4-power minion on his side. Play a castle in the back left. I think then I assorted animals for 4 in this case because I don't have a Hamlet. So I can still assorted animals for 4. Assorted animals you can think about draws you 4 cards, which is really, really good for one card. And then it thins your deck. It refuels you kind of like a Grandmaster Wizard, which is really good. Yeah, I guess that's the way to think about it. This is Grandmaster Wizard, but at whatever variable mana rate you want to play. The only caveat here is you have to play a 1 mana beast. And then Pit Vipers. I played Pit Vipers instead of Pufferfish just because if he has a berry or something, it kind of negates it. I could have played Pufferfish on the back row, but Pit Vipers up is a little bit more aggressive. Just a little bit. At this point, I'm just kind of like trying to accrue value and look for an opening to start like chipping them down. I'm doing that with the 1 Sly Fox. I'm also holding the Lugbog Cat in hand just because these are like Lugbog Cat and Autumn Unicorn are the 2 biggest creatures in this list, so I don't want to play them out too like willy-nilly. I want him to use his removal, or I want to play them advantageously. And another point about Lugbog Cat and Pond and Autumn Unicorn. Did I already mention this? Pond on turn 2, and then Unicorn or Lugbog Cat feels so good. I really liked Boss Troll on 2 early in Alpha and Beta, but then people started playing Fury Road, and so Fury Road played a lot of deserts, and then that 3 power wasn't quite enough to stick around long enough for me to like. But having a 4 power minion on turn 2 is really, really strong. And also, it's on a water site, which is also huge. Then they just can't be buried. Pufferfish to draw a card. It only costs 1 mana to do so. So just looking at options there. Unicorn, draw another card. Sylvan Splendor is great when it works. Play Green Sparrow. I forget to gain life here in a little bit. Oh, the other thing this deck is... See, this deck has so many different things to do. Ominous Owl. Ominous Owl plus a... What do you call it? Sparrow? Something Sparrow. It's a water sparrow that steals an artifact. You can tutor for both of those things. And Ominous Owl can easily fly over and get on top of an avatar. Caveats being here, deserts. Just watch out for deserts. So here CJ's like, I gotta get rid of the Sylvan Splendor, but then has different ideas and different game plans here. So we take it back a little bit. Oh, it's because if he wants to attack with the Autumn Unicorn, he has to deal with my Pufferfish, and the Pufferfish can just block and trade like that. But I think we rewind. Oh, there's my 2 life for the Grain Sparrow. And then there's Sir Galahad, but Sir Galahad has a threshold requirement of 2 air, 2 earth. Siege only got the 1 air. So rewinds and plays an Entangled Terrain instead and attacks for 4. Which is fine. I can still play my 1 power beast to my affected sites and still gain value in drawing cards. So it's really paying 1 card for 1 mana for a card. I'll do that all day. And then setting up for turns in the future of attacks. So I have an Log Cat in here. I don't care if I trade. I've drawn so many cards off of Sylvan Splendor. It doesn't really matter. Then debating about what to do with the Pit Vipers. Oh, I have 2 mana left, so I think I play Highland Falconer up on Free City to start being aggressive and go get a Bats. I play 2 Highland Falconers and 2 Bats. There's also Grain Sparrows and Ominous Owls to get with Highland Falconer, so if I happen to draw 2 Bats, and it's not like Highland Falconer is a dead draw. Now just swarming the board with a bunch of minions, trying to just be really annoying with a bunch of 1 power little beasts. It feels very token-esque strategy, but not so much. There's a little bit more value baked into these minions than tokens, but it's the same kind of feel of like the board is just, why are there so many minions on the board? I think he attacks myself, and I trade with the cat, which is fine. I have another one. So here's 1 minion that has the tap ability of range. So range still works within the aura of Entangled Terrain, which is really cool. So here I get Ruler Thule. I don't remember if I play Ruler now. I think I do. And I attack with Fox, Pit Vipers, and Bats. Play a defensive Pufferfish and draw a card. I have 4 mana left. Get Grapple Shot, which is a great finisher to hold in hand. Why don't I play Ruler? I don't know why I didn't play Ruler. That's weird. Oh, maybe because I'm just like thinking of next turn to like door him in turn. Because if I played Ruler, it wouldn't be enough, and then Entangled Terrain is going away this turn. So I'm like, I've got so many minions on board ready to do something. Holding a big finishing card in hand is not a bad idea. Grapple Shot. Can't say enough about Grapple Shot. Here he finally dispels. Maybe we rewind this as well. I think he doesn't dispel because he needs some more mana. And then he got rid of Pit Vipers with the Bowman tap ability of making a range strike. But I said earlier in this video, this is probably the most fun I've had with a deck in a while. Oh, he divine healings. He had a divine healing. The fact that this has so many different play lines and options is a lot of fun. So with sorted animals, yeah, you're gonna get a lethal minion. You're gonna get a 1 mana 2 power guy, but there's so many different things you can do with it. It makes each game very unique. Yes, you're still looking for Hamlet and abusing Hamlet. Every game I've played with this, I've had fun. So if somebody's looking for a fun deck to play, I highly suggest this one. It's a lot of fun, and it's very weird. Here's Rift Valley comes back to haunt him. Playing Entangled Terrain makes a lot of sense, but I still have one site to attack. Here I get Snowball. Snowball is also a really fun card in this list because you have so many minions. You can Hamlet on top of stuff and just attack for 5 for 1 turn, and then whatever's left gets snowballed and deals another 4. It's great. Here it's a little awkward. I had to get one more minion in there, but it dealt an extra damage. Because he was at 8, but I only have 7 minions, so I had to attack with a minion, so then he was at 7, but then there's 8 minions. It's just a little weird. But then Snowball to deal 8, and Snowball is a great card. I think I'm only playing 2, maybe 1. I don't remember, but again, open to lots of suggestions, and I have Ruler Thule in hand, so I'm not too worried about like how I'm going to close out the game. Kind of can have a surprise attack. Move over Pufferfish for another attack next turn with Ruler. Or, no, I have to wait for Entangled Terrain to disappear. So I have 2 turns to wait. Here he plays the Pudgy Boy, so it can still work underneath Entangled Terrain, which is it's a fun little concept. I think it's a little clunky. Here I just top deck a Common Sense, and I think I play Heat Ray back from my Avatar of Earth days. Heat Ray is still my favorite finishing kind of card, just because of the piercing projectile. Thank you, everybody. Let me know what you think of the deck. I'll leave the deck list in the description. The channel is almost at 600 subscribers, so if you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button, much appreciated.